Oh, hi, Uber here. This is my second character, 3.12. It is a duelist, a slayer. Um, it's a very expensive character because I had nothing better to do other than make a fucking expensive character. Um, I like you. A bit about me. I like uniques. I don't really like using rares in my builds. So the less rares I can get away with, the happier I am with the build. So this build has no res, absolutely no res. So as you can see, I'm using a Pharaoh's helm, Pharaoh's replica Pharaoh's chest, Maralene's fallacy amulet, two rings which are synthesized circle of anguish, one Oni-Goroshi, surge binders, gluttony, and downway vectors. Right, so with all these items, I get a 10 frenzy charges, which for Slayer is equal to the 10 endurance charges because of this particular ascendancy. So, what does that mean? That means that normally, if I don't have any charges, let's see, if I don't have any charges, I need to wait for this to expire. If I don't have any charges, I'll actually have really crappy res, right? Maybe like 40 or 30% res. Right, so the 10 endurance charges pretty much gives me the resistance I need. I don't have any chaos res because most of the time chaos res comes from items, and I don't have any res that have chaos res. So yeah, it's a bit sketch for chaos. The sole objective for this build, or rather the purpose for this build, is to map fast. I don't really care too much about its ability to boss because I can have my Scion, which is a technically a bosser, to swap in whenever I fight Sirius or whenever I do like Conquerors. Although this character right now can do Conquerors, it's just a matter of whether or not he does it without dying. Right. With Drox and with Veritania, he doesn't die. But with the Varan and with Elhasmin, it really depends. Yeah. So, without further ado, I will do a map because I need to clear. Uh, let's do a temple. Alright, so I need to clear my new set of conquerors. I just did serious like about 1 hour ago. So this is a Flicker Striker character. Mobility is really fast. There's also a bit of desync involved, as you can see. Sometimes I hit Flicker Strike and my character looks like he's standing still. And that's only because the game hasn't updated his location. Um, yeah, talk about the Naruto level animation, bro. Character blinking forward and killing stuff without moving position, pretty much. I'll talk about the build mechanics later, but for now I'll just try to kill these. I think I'm missing something, I don't know what it is. I'll figure it out later. So I'm gonna... Wow, yes. I'm actually gonna get this character to like a level 95, and then I'll start building my next character, which I have kind of planned out the gear for. It's also gonna be very heavy in uniques, and hopefully I can like, I won't say release a guy, but more of a showcase. More blueprints. I've actually run out of stash space for bloody heist contracts. Waiting for the patch to come out like next week, and then I can actually start doing heist. Because right now, heists are a bit monka-esque. see the build is pretty smooth if it weren't for the fact that it looks like really janky shit because characters constantly flicker striking around and my center of my screen is like dancing over the place. Pretty sure that's trash. What? Okay. So basically what happened is just now, my character was here, but the game state thinks that my character, the game shows my character is here, but the game state thinks my character is here, so like I can't access this. I think this desync issues only happened, like only started during Heist because I was playing Flicker Strike and Harvest and it was okay. Like it wasn't as bad. But yeah, Heist has kind of like made things worse. Lord's lacking. That's not bad. How much is Beano's right now? Oh wow, it's not too bad. 40% increase physical damage taken? As in only 40%. I'll keep this. Maybe drop an enchant on it whenever I feel like doing lab. Maybe when I level my new character and then I do lab, or just enchant that shit. How much is Beano's right now, dude? Check. Beano's kitchen knife slaughter. One chaos. Okay. Okay. I'm killing a poison enemy, nearby enemies are poisoned, and nearby allies regenerate 200 life or something. Maybe I can find a build for this. Oh no. Okay, just keep this for now. This is called a per kills toll. I think I had this one. So much inventory management now. This is the point where I usually get fatigued with the league because I've just got too much shit to manage inventory wise, and it becomes almost like a job. And then you're like, fuck, I'm not playing the game anymore, I'm actually managing my inventory full time. 65 million EXP an hour. Should level in like a bit, I guess. With the exception of maybe random shit happening and I die. Oh, I like the density for this. Maybe not so much now. That's porcupines. I think I should be fine with the 40% fizz reduction. Should be okay, I guess. One more alleyways, I think. Yeah, one more alleyway. I do a few precincts as well. Three? No, it's four. Oh, it's me. No class 10, so Yeah, I actually helped this guy do awakening parries. Um, but the last time he tried to help me, he tried to ask for help. He spawned it on Frankfurt, and I was trying to kill A7 Sirius on like 200 ping, and it was just like crazy, impossible. I managed to do it in the end. It's just really painful, because like everything I do gets like overdone. Like I will try to move, I will try to kite, and I'll kite out of his circle, and then he will just skip phases, and I'm like fuck. It took me way longer than I would have ordinarily preferred, but whatever. Okay, so a brief go run through the build on the gem slots and all that. My main damage is my flicker, yeah. I do have awaken multi strike, which is 30x right now, fuck. And awaken melee splash. But the rest are like normal gems. This is a divergent flicker strike for the extra 20% teleport range. Um, And then what else I have for damage is also my Anomalous Vengeance. Anomalous Vengeance gives me an increased cooldown recovery rate of 20%. So instead of like I think 1.2 seconds, it's 1 second. So every 1 second I will cast this. Uh, you would ask like this is a triggered spell, right? How do you get you normally have to wait for your enemies to attack you in order for this to do damage. But the reason why I can do damage with this is because I'm using Gluttony. And Gluttony, what it does is that I take 200 physical damage whenever I use a movement skill, and guess what? Flick Strike's a movement skill. Dash is a movement skill, so I proc I proc this all the time. I use the self damage here will proc Vengeance. The self damage here also procs my Classman Damage Shaken setup. So I have Classman Damage Shaken on like a level 2 trigger. I have Immortal Call on it, and I have of Conviction and Cold Snap. Right, Cold Snap for utility slow, as well as some form of Frenzy Charge generation. I have a Wave of Conviction because it gives me more pen. I also have a helm that applies -6% elemental resistance on my exposure. Yeah, and then yeah. So this is generally how the build works. Marlene's Fallacy is actually okay because the base crit of Oni-Goroshi is really high. And because I'm using the helm here, uh, I like the helm too because it gives me extra critical strike chance of 1%. It gives me a chance to blind on critical strike, but I also do have a Flesh and Stone, which is giving me an AoE blind. Uh, and it also gives me 50% extra damage with hits and ailments against blinded enemies. Right, so that's how one of the ways I'm scaling damage. For my rings, I'm going for 1+1 frenzy charges on each ring. Um, I have been buying and selling them depending on which ones I want. So I would just buy new ones and try them out. If they're good, I would just swap my old ones out and sell them. So for this one, I would suggest maximum fire res because Oni-Goroshi does give some form of self damage because her embrace will the buff will actually like you would burn for about what 0.5% of your total maximum life per second per level. So this helps mitigate it. I have +1 maximum fire res on both rings, on each of my rings. So like I have 77% total fire res, and this helps a lot with the self damage mitigation, the mitigation of the self damage from Oni-Goroshi. Um, why do I have Surge Binders? Well, Surge Binders gives you uh, a potential 7% increased elemental damage per frenzy charge and 7% increased physical damage per endurance charge because you have Oni-Goroshi where the elemental damage scales off your physical, right? So you can kind of like double it, I think. So you have a physical damage on Oni-Goroshi, which is 2 to 3 physical damage to attacks per level, and then when the buff kicks in, you get a 120, was it 123% extra damage. Yeah, 123% extra damage gain or physical damage gain as extra fire damage. So like this Surge Miners really synergizes very well with this because you have 10 Frenzy and 10 Endurance. And this basically I think functions as some form of 130% damage increase. Not exactly 130%. It's probably lower, but you get my drift. Imagine a glove that gives you that. Yeah. Um, and so yeah, with Marlene's my flicker crit damage is 520. My crit chance is 32%. If I hit my flask, it goes up to 3740 with the Diamond Flask Lucky, as well as Fort Bottle Faith, which I haven't activated here. It should go up as well. Um, yeah, pretty much it. I have in my skill tree, I have like max. I have acrobatics, so phase acro and acro. So that gives me like, and along with this, it's like I think where's my dodge. My dodge is 60%, right? Because it gives me like 2% extra dodge per frenzy charge, so that's 20% chance to dodge attack hits. Um, so that's 60% total attack dodge. With the Quartz Flask, that's like 70%. So I'm near cap for attack dodge. I also have like 60% Fizz Res because of, or 40% Fizz Res because of the uh, endurance charges. But when I do pop a Enduring Cry, it goes up to 60%. Right? But only for a short while. Um, for mobility, I have Diversion Dash, which gives phasing every time I dash. Um, yeah, and I have a Link to Second Wind along with Enduring Cry. I have a less duration support on the item with Aspect of the Cat to help Aspect of the Cat cycle faster, which will keep my charges up more. With Immortal Call and this fast cycling, I rarely have a situation where I'm not at 10 endurance charges. And then when I have endurance charges, 10 endurance charges up as well as Immortal Call, I'm pretty tanky. So, like, all in all, I have 4.1k life. It seems pretty low, but with all these buffs up, it's decent, right? I think it's not as tanky as my Scion, my Mind of a Meta agnostic Scion, but this is like really tanky for Flicker Striker. If I would, I played like Raider last league, and Raider Flicker Striker is really fucking paper. Like someone would sneeze, like a mob would sneeze on you and you would die. So I had like a cast with damage taken and portal set up on that one. For this one, I don't have that issue because like he's actually pretty tanky, right? With the Slayer Overleech, with the Slayer Overleech, he's like super tanky with all the mitigation. So yeah, I'm quite happy with how this build has turned out. I'm still gonna continue to use this to speed map, like just run through maps quickly and then cycle them quickly for my bossing. Yeah, like I'm not that too stressed about it as well. So like I just sometimes just chill and I'll look at stuff on the floor. Uh, but it's still like way faster. Like it's way faster than if I were to do that on my Scion, because my Scion is like walking cast, right? So it's not that fast. And so that pretty much sums it up. On node pathing, I'm going all the way around here just to get all the frenzy charges, um, and get the phase aggro and all the, well, if I'll call these efficient nodes, these are quite efficient. Um, I have a huge cluster of nodes here, which helps my Akoya, my Koya gem, because my Koya gem I use it for chain breaker, and like there's so many nodes I use here that it's kind of useful. Yeah, it's double damage, increased strength. Yeah. Um, I can probably find another Koya that's better than this, but for now I'm using this. I have elemental penetration from the fire res here and the cold res here. No, not cold res here, and the all elemental res here, as well as the anoint, which is divine fervor, which gives me crit chance, elemental damage, and penetration, as well as like strength and intel. I really need the intel because I don't add it very much on gear or on the tree. I have access to a couple of life nodes, although it doesn't really benefit me. I'm still at 4. It's mainly because I don't really have a lot of high health rolls on my armor, because they're all uniques. So there's one circle here, I have one here, 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 and here. I can potentially add into this area, so that's great. I don't use a Watcher's Eye for this build. I tried filling one in and I don't really like it. I don't feel as comfortable with it. Um, oh yeah, if you're wondering why as well, why I go for this node, Battle Rouse. I'm not a mana build. I don't seem to need it because I'm reserving most of my mana. But what I like about Battle Rouse is 10% of damage taken gain as 4 mana over 4 seconds when hit. So this synergizes very nicely with the Gluttony, because the Gluttony, whenever I cast a Flicker Strike, it's considered self-dam. I will proc Gluttony. Gluttony self-damages myself. That self-damage, which not only does it activate Vengeance, and activates the cast when damage taken, it also activates this, right? So 10% of the damage I take from this uh, is gained as mana, right? So I don't have to just rely solely on my mana leech, which is this, in order to get my mana back. I also have a form of mana generation from this. As long as I take damage, as long as I dash, as long as I use a movement skill, I will get mana back, right? So yep, pretty much yeah, this is the way things for this build. I'm pretty happy with how this turned out. I Yeah, I'll be playing my next build. My next build will be probably a Earth Shatter build. Let me show you some of the items I've gone for it already. And I'm gonna build a Chieftain Earth Shatter, probably a fire damage Chieftain Earth Shatter, and it will have these particular items. I will go a 6 linked Blunderball with a Gull Mask and 2 Brutus Lead Sprinklers. I might add in a what's that apple called again? Eternal Apple, is it? Can't remember where I placed it. Is it here? Yeah, I have the Eternal Apple up that has like a +4 to Warcry gems. I just need to get the last red gem in. No, a red socket in, which requires Vaal Orbs. I've kind of burned through all my Vaal Orbs trying to get this three red. Yeah. So yeah, this will be my next build. I've also like prepared like a couple items. Like let me see. I've also prepared these rings, give 7% strength, flat strength as well, and Herald of Ash. I like Herald of Ash, to be honest. It's fire res and reduce reservation. Oh yeah, one more thing. The reason why I run Herald of Ash on this build is because Herald Ash gives me a chance to ignite. It helps proc my ignites, which then also in turn helps keep the buff up on this, because you have to ignite in order to, uh, you know, you have to ignite to get the buff up, right? So that's why I have a Herald of um, Herald Ash. I also have a Herald of Purity just for the fizz damage, right? It boosts the fizz damage base, which then gets converted, or rather not converted, but gained as fire. So Herald Purity as a more damage multiplier is great. 12% more. It does also have a Sentinels of Purity that have a chance to taunt on hit, which I think is nice. This is the alternate version. Was it Anomalous Herald Purity? Yeah. Yeah, and I have Ancestral War Chief just linked with my like with the 5 link here and the Vengeance, in order to get more damage off, as well as debuffs from uh, Ancestral War Chief. So this one gives like more 80%, 18% more melee damage and 32% more melee damage, which is pretty huge like damage add. Uh, so pretty much yeah, that's pretty much the build. Hope you enjoyed it. I don't think you are. I don't think any of you will be able to replicate this build. It's expensive as fuck, but uh, if you can afford it and you do want to try pushing for it, Oni-Goroshi can be farmed if you just start out in the game. Go for it. I mean, up to you. Anyway, all the best. I'm gonna put this up as a guide, and I will move to my next build after I level this guy to like 95. Alright, see you guys.